Come on in, pull up a chair, and take a load off because today I'll be unboxing and taking a first look at the Goonies from Funko Games. And we'll dive in right after this. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. So mentioned in the open, today I'll be unboxing and taking a first look at the Goonies from Funko Games. This game is designed by Prospero Hall with artwork provided by Eric Hibbler and Henning Ludvigsen. It is for 2 to 5 players, ages 12 and up, plays in around 50 minutes per adventure, and is currently, through the end of the year, a Target exclusive, which carries an MSRP of $27.99. So let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got the Goonies, Never Say Die. So I have to mention that if you saw my Gen Con interview with Adam Minton from Funko Games, we did discuss the Goonies in some detail and talked about the expansion that's on the horizon as well. Also, the fine folks over at Funko Games were kind enough to provide me with this review copy. Of course, this is not a review. I have not opened this box yet, so how could I review it? But do want to point out they were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, because if your Target stores near you are like my Target stores, this is never in stock. And I've popped in there when their website says it's in stock and it's not there. And thankfully, I don't have to worry about that any longer. But this was one of the recent Funko releases I was really curious about because the game has a bit of a role-playing game vibe, and we will talk about that. Once again, I don't know a ton about this game, but we did talk about this during the Gen Con interview. So it is the Goonies, Never Say Die. It's our time down here. Embark on a perilous adventure full of dangerous booby traps and treacherous treasure-filled caverns. One player is the Goondocks Master, controlling fearsome foes, from the outlaw family, the Fratellis, to the legendary pirate, One-Eyed Willie. The other players take on the role of the Goonies, Mikey, Mouth, Chunk, Data, and Sloth, overcoming cryptic puzzles and deadly challenges with teamwork, strategy, and Data's clever contraptions. Will the Goonies discover the legendary riches that will save their homes, or will they follow the fate of Chester Copperpot and never see the light of day? Mwah! So the game does include 8 miniatures as well. And I believe there's some custom dice too. So let's jump on in. So we've got a board here. Take a look at that in a moment. We've got, this is shrink wrapped here. This looks like maybe this is the game board. That's a possibility there. We've got the instructions as well as the adventure guide. So here it says, for the Goondocks Master's eyes only. So as I mentioned, this has a bit of a role-playing game feel to it. But I also understand, unlike most role-playing games where the game master is really there to facilitate the adventure, to facilitate the game, it's not necessarily the players versus the GM and the GM versus the players. In this case, it is. So as far as I understand, the Goondocks Master is trying to stop the Goonies. So there is a bit of confrontational action going on between the Goonies and the Goondocks Master. So we've got the 2 books here. Let's take a look, see what we've got. So here is the instruction book. We'll jump on in. And you know what? I will actually zoom in a little bit a little closer look here. Of course, yeah, I'm staying picture in picture, so I'm cutting a corner of the rule book off, but you'll just have to deal with it. So it looks like we got a lot of stuff in the box. And I have to point out, this box has some heft to it. When I picked it up, I was like, wow, this is quite a bit heavier than I was expecting it to be, especially for a game that's clocking in at less than $30. So we've got our minis, we've got dice, we've got a variety of different cards. We've got the game board here. Looks like these might be locations that we overlay on the game board. Oh, okay. So that was a Goondocks Master GM screen that this right here that we saw. So we'll take a closer look at that as well. So we've got different tokens. Looks like we've got a variety of different items to punch out. So we've got our setup. So this is showing how the game's going to lay out. So we've got our character cards here as well. My understanding is there are 9 adventures. The first 3 adventures actually follow the plot of the film, the classic 1985 film, which I saw when it came out. Actually, I take that back. I did not see it when it came out. I saw it when it came out on VHS because when this came out, I had just graduated high school. So it wasn't necessarily geared towards me, although I think it's a fun movie. I think it's a riot, and I think it is a classic. At the time, I didn't see it in the theaters. So talking about playing the game, we've got a game overview. We've got dice checks. So we've got strength, dexterity, and search. So yes, we do have some custom dice because we've got 6-sided, 8-sided, and 12-sided. But it looks like we've got bone symbols. So we have 1 bone or cross bones. So if it's 1 bone, it's 1 success. If it's cross bones, it's 2 successes. And then it says the skull is GM symbol. So whenever any player rolls a GM symbol, the GM gains 1 GM token for each GM symbol rolled. So players never roll more than 3 dice for any reason. It looks like that's on their player cards as well, how many dice they get to roll. Got upgrading dice, so I guess we've got the upgrade steps. So you could go from a 6 to an 8 to a 12. Talking about teamwork, teenager cards, because Andy Brand and Steph are there to help the Goonies. I actually believe that they are the focus of the expansion that is coming out soon. So we've got the Goonies round. So at the start of the round, each Goonie is going to gain a wish token and flip their placard face up. So what I'm kind of curious about is, and of course, once we get a chance to play and I have a review done, kind of curious because it's for 2 to 5 players. So I believe you're going to play 4 of the Goonies. I'm wondering if, like, on a 2-player game, if it's the Goondocks Master and then the players taking on the roles of all of the Goonies. I don't know. So on the Goonie turn, you can take up to 2 actions. You can use any number of item and treasure cards. You can use your special ability that's shown on your placard, which I guess is basically your character card here. So the actions are move, search, attack, rest, treasure action, and adventure action. And we get a breakdown of what those actions do. Then we have attack. So we get a breakdown there. Defending, dealing damage, defeating your foes. Goonies, never say die. And then the other actions as well. Here we have the GM round. So you gain a GM token. You activate foes, draw a GM card, and play 1 GM card, which is optional. So the foes can move, attack. You can boss foe. Oh, I was going to say you could boss foes. It's talking about boss foes, so tougher enemies. So we also have some GM cards. We'll be taking a look at those. We've got wandering foes, so like wandering monsters in a role-playing game. And playing GM cards during the Goonies turns. Okay. So we've got the end is nigh rolls, the end of the GM round, and the hourglass. So winning the game, the GM wins if they start a GM round with all 4 sand tokens at the bottom of the hourglass. The Goonies win if they complete the objective for the adventure. And we got some descriptions of different environmental and condition tokens and some frequently asked questions. So I also have the adventure guide, which I'm just going to take a look maybe at like the first adventure here because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Like I said, there are 9 adventures. So let's take a look, see what we've got. So this is how to use the guide. So it's giving the GM information on how they're going to actually use this book. And then our first adventure. So it looks like there's our board set up. Talking about GM cards, special components. And then the Goonies starting goal and the GM's objective. And then it looks like these are special things that are going on. Looks like we've got some read aloud too. So for each of the areas. So 2, 4, 6, and then 8. Nice. And let me double check. So we get an epilogue there. Yep, adventure 9. Thought so. I thought there were 9 adventures overall. All right, so let's take a look at this board here. So this is, this is pretty nice. So this is our GM screen. So we got our references for, looks like these might be wandering creatures here. Wandering foes. Talking about the Goonie round, GM round, and the token reference. So really, the rules that you need are going to be right in front of you as far as the GM. And then it looks like we've got, it's part of the treasure map on this side here. I will tell you the component quality so far is really nice. It's nice and thick. So that's going to hold up the play very nicely. Let's see what we've got here. Do you realize the next time you see Sky, it'll be over another town? Next time you take a test, it'll be in some other school. Our parents, they want the best of stuff for us. But right now, they got to do what's right for them because it's their time up there. Down here, it's our time. It's our time down here. All right, so I want to be careful here. Did that catch it enough? Yeah, it did. Yes. All right. Looks like we got a lot of stuff that's shrink wrapped because the tokens are also shrink wrapped. The punch boards for them. Let's see what we got. Yep. So this is the game board. So that's kind of cool. It's got 2 sides. Whoops. So here, I mean, this is just kind of added coolness to the back of it because the back of the board could be just nothing. It could just be blank, right? And nobody would complain. All right, so here is the game board, and it does look like we overlay things onto this as well. So a decent sized board, but it's not going to take up a ton of space on your game table. So we've got that. See, we've got the punch boards here. It looks like we got 3 of them. Once again, these are also shrink wrapped. So I don't have to be all that careful cutting it open because just cutting the edge of the cardstock. All right, so here we have, so it looks like these are the wandering enemies, wandering foes. I have no idea. I have no idea what these are supposed to represent. But I can tell you right now that this represents a location. So that is a location that's going to get laid out on the table. It looks like I'm taking a guess that that is something that the characters are going to have to pass a strength check. This is a search check. See what we got on the back. So that's different. So that area is different there. It's like these are all the same on the front and back, except for this. All right. So that's our first punch board. We've got our second punch board. This is a big area here. Yeah, there you go. No, it's the treasure. We got some giant rats on here as well. Oh, we actually have 4 punch boards. So it looks like these are passageways, maybe? That's what it kind of looks like. Got another room here. Looks like that's kind of a bridge. I bet you that requires a dexterity. I think that's the symbol for. Yep, there. I think it's a foot with like a little lightning bolt or something on it. So I think that indicates that a dexterity check is needed to get past that. So there we go. We've got the second punch board here. And then the final punch board. So here's the hourglass that the Goonie, or I should say Goondocks master, is looking to try to bring down all 4 tokens for the Goonies down to the bottom. So we've got some more informational tokens. These are the status tokens there. Another location. Like so. Cool. And very nice thick cardstock. I'm pretty impressed so far with what's in this. All right, so we got a bunch of plastic baggies. So we probably have a few different decks of cards that we're going to be looking at. So let's take a look at our dice here. So we've got, looks like, what, 3 of each? Yep. Okay, so we've got 3 6-sided. And these are not traditional dice. So we've got 1 and a skull. So it looks like we have 1 bone on, what, 3 sides? Yep. And then a skull, and then we got 2 blanks. The 8-sider, I'm going to take a guess we get some crossbones on. Yep. In fact, just spotted that right there. So that's the 8-sider. So you can have more successes with the 8-sider, and obviously enough the 12-sider too. And that's why we have the upgrading dice section in the rules. And let's take a look at the 12-siders. I do want to point out these dice are cut. It's not silk screen, so these should hold up to a lot of play. So there we go. We got those. So we've got a bunch of standees for the wandering monsters, like the giant rats. So we've got quite a few of those. Looks like, gosh, maybe 20. There's a lot of them in there. So we've got minis. We're going to take a look at the minis last, because I'll zoom in as best I can for us to get a look at them. All right, I'm going to fold up the game board because I don't want to distract from these cards we're going to be looking at. So, got small. These are European size. These are the placards, otherwise what I would consider to be character cards. And then got our GM deck, which looks like our standard cards here. Let's just use the hobby knife. So first thing we'll look at is, and we're not gonna look at all of the cards because I'm sure we've got some surprises. And it looks like we've got some surprise monsters too, although we might end up seeing the miniatures of them anyway. So let's see. All right, come on, I just cut this open. It's like, what's going on? So we've got riddles. So riddle 3, riddle 2, riddle 1. Perils. just as an example. Take a look at one of the perils. Unstable. Increase the difficulty of all dangerous passages. Oh, I'm sorry. All dangerous passage checks by 1. We've got treasure. Got some treasure cards. Take a peek at one of those. A pirate's cutlass. Oh, legendary treasure. We'll keep those secret. So we've got items. My wish. Discard to gain 2 wish tokens. This is not my wish. Candy bar. Discard to remove 2 damage from a Goonie in your room. All right. Looks like we've got some cards for the monsters or the foes. Here's the teenager cards. So Steph, Andy, and Brand. So Mouth has some cards. He's got 3 cards here. Dad has got 3 cards. No, I'm sorry. He's got quite a few cards. So I wonder if these are like his inventions, his contraptions. Yep. One use spy eyes. A few of those. And then Mouth has insulting quip. The GM must discard a GM token. He's got one-eyed Will. He's got a couple of cards. Nope, 3 cards. And then the giant octopus has 3 cards. So we've got a variety of little decks of different cards. And of course, I would always recommend just pick up some Euro size sleeves, sleeve the cards up, save yourself some hassle. I mean, actually utilize one of these bags. I don't think this is actually big enough, though. Nope. I'll use this one. Slide these cards on in there. So, of course, there is an insert as well. So, just little boxes. But, hey, at least it's not just thrown into one big box bottom. Take a quick peek at a few of the GM cards. We're not going to look at a bunch, but looks like we've got player aids. So Goonies round. So we get 4 of those for each of the possible Goonie players. So here's falling boulders. They're coming. A few of those, it looks like. Aye, aye, Captain. It looks like these cards are used in specific adventures. Some, looks like this could be any time. But for an example, They're Coming says adventures 2 and 7. Aye, aye, Captain is 4 and 9. So we've got a few different. It looks like we've got some multiples of the same. And I'm going to take a guess that maybe the Goondocks. Why do we keep just saying Goonie? It's Goondocks Master. Maybe the Goondocks Master has to spend their GM tokens to activate cards. That's a possibility. I don't know. We just took a quick peek at the rules. All right, let's slide these on in here. Okay. Then we have the placards. So we've got placards for characters. Looks like we got placards for the baddies too. So it looks like we've got 5 big bads. So I will not flip these over and ruin the surprise. So we've got Mikey, who has a health of 6 and 4 wishes. It's like they get to roll 2 dice for each of their 3 attributes. Inspirational speeches, pirate lore. Here we got Mouth. He's 6 and 3. Looks like he rolls 2 dice. But if you notice, they're different kinds of dice. So he gets the 12-siders for dexterity. Mikey gets the 12-siders for search. You got Chunk, who does not get 12-siders, but they do get 2 8-siders. Data's got 2 8-siders and 2 6-siders. And then we got Sloth. There you go. Hey, you guys. So we got the backs on those as well. I gotta say, of course, not knowing how this game plays, I am pretty impressed by all the stuff that's in this box. And it looks like this should be a lot of fun for those out there, young and old, who are fans of the Goonies. All right, so the last thing we're going to take a look at are the minis. And I will try to get as close in as I can. We're unfortunately not going to get too close, but since I'm using the Sony for the overhead shots, their autofocus is pretty decent. So once I zoom on in, that is as far as it'll go, but should be able to. All right, a little too close. So here is the giant octopus. I'd say that's got some pretty nice detail. You could paint that up pretty well. All right, so we got the Fratellis. Of course, these are plastic, so some of the plastic is bent. You can see the cutlass she's carrying is bent. Like I said, though, pretty decent quality sculpts. I've seen far worse on games where they would expect you to be painting the minis. All right, we got One-Eyed Willie. There we've got One-Eyed Willie. Here we go. All right, so then we've got Sloth. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this is One-Eyed Willie. Because this looks like a pirate. Could be. No, can't be. This is Chunk. I was going to say, yeah, because I see he's wearing that pirate hat. That's Chunk. Okay, and then here's Mikey. I'm assuming this is Mikey holding the map. You can peek at the map here. All right, then we got Data. With his contraptions in his backpack. And then we got the smooth talking mouth. So he's not really smooth talking. He's more of a constant nuisance. All right. So those are the minis. So we've got 9 different custom dice. We've got a bunch of standees. We've got miniatures for, might as well put these back in the bag, for the Goonies as well as the big bads. We have the game board. We have 4 punch boards of tokens. We've also got our adventure guide, which is for the GM's eyes only, as well as our instruction book and the GM screen. And that's everything that we find when we take everything from the Goonies Never Say Die outside the box. So, of course, I am going to have a review of the Goonies Never Say Die in the very near future. So, stay tuned. Once again, I do want to point out the Goonies Never Say Die is a Target exclusive through the end of the year. It is available now. Hopefully, it's in stock at your local Target store. It does carry an MSRP of $27.99. All right, that's it for this time out. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you do, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when I upload videos, such as this first look. It'll also tell you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs right here on YouTube, as I bring you not only the latest in tabletop gaming news, but also more first looks at tabletop games. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thank you so much for watching. And until I see you next time, here's hoping each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your very own gang. Oh, you're still here. Well, while you're kicking it, how about subscribing to the Gaming Gang channel? Or seeing the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch? Or finding out what YouTube recommends you check out here at my channel? And of course, don't forget, get your geek on at thegaminggang.com.